This is a gamble. This is a new part of the journey. We're on a road that's never been traveled before.
A clear road to reopening. Plans are in place now for things we've been missing most to get back to business. First Financial Biz Beat starts right now. Good afternoon and welcome to First Financial Biz Beat, presented by the Business Courier. I'm KAYLA Woods. Well, this time next week, you'll be able to grab a bite to eat at your favorite Cincinnati restaurant, as long as they offer outside seating, or grab a drink at a bar. But of course, things will be different. Take Revel, for example. The bartenders at the OTR Wine Bar will be wearing a mask and taking orders from people at tables. Those tables will also be 6 feet apart and will have guidelines on them to make sure that people remain distanced.
You know, just one of our employees just came in, she just left, picked up some wine, and the first thing she said was like, are we going to have to police everyone? Like, how's that work? And we're like, maybe.
Here are some of the other businesses coming back soon. Salons, spas, and barbershops can open next week in Ohio. You'll have to wait another week in Kentucky. But if you've been craving the gym or a movie with some theater popcorn, you'll be able to do that in the Commonwealth come June 1st. There's no date for that yet in Ohio. And while many places are starting to reopen, state leaders caution that a rise in coronavirus cases is likely to follow.
This is a new playbook. We've never been here before in modern times. And, you know, we have to learn to live with this virus. But we have to do this because there really is no way, as we can see, to sort of stop all life.
And that brings us to our front page centerpiece this week, Life After the Crisis, How to Revive Retail. Well, there's no way to spin it. Retail, of course, has just been hammered. Now, as restrictions are being lifted, there's a fearful, less liquid consumer base. And businesses have to prove to shoppers that what they can buy and experience at a physical location is simply better than shopping online. That's what keeps a place like Artichoke going. Sales are down 50% at the curated cookware store in Findlay Market, but they have faithful customers.
We spend a lot of time with our customers, and so we build relationships. We have people who come in just to visit sometimes, but more often than not, during this time period, they've been calling in. And a number of times I've had people tell me, I know I could buy this online, but I'd rather buy it from you.
And experts say the key to retailers getting back on their feet is showing it's safe to shop in their stores. And that's where Courier reporter Tom Demaropoulos comes in. He wrote this week's cover story, and he joins us live now via Skype. Hi, Tom.
Hi, KAYLA. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you, and we're so excited to have you with us today to really dive more into this story. What are some of the practices that we'll see in place once those retail stores do start to reopen?
Yeah, KAYLA, I think the most important thing is that retailers are going to want to make sure that people feel safe. That's going to be the number one priority. And you'll see things ranging from, retailers offering masks when people walk in the door, hand sanitizer. They're going to be really making sure that people maintain their social distancing, so keeping 6 feet apart, putting in barriers where they need to, plexiglass to have dividers, just everything to really put the consumer's mind at ease that this is a safe place to go, this is a safe place to shop.
And we referenced Artichoke. You spoke to the owners there. So when it comes to smaller businesses, like many of our mom and pop stores, what unique obstacles do they face compared to the larger retail stores?
So, KAYLA, really, I think what's happening with this epidemic, with this pandemic, is you're seeing not necessarily troubles between big and small retailers. It's more about the good and bad operators. This is really going to separate those two. So even if you're a small business, if you're a good operator and you've got a good, strong customer base, you've got a better chance of getting through this. We've seen some of the nation's largest clothing retailers have filed for bankruptcy already, with J.Crew and others moving in that direction. So it's more about, do you have a dedicated following? Do you have a good brand? Can you get through this on those kind of merits?
I think that's an excellent perspective. You're right. It's more about the service and the loyalty and how you're serving your customers. Well, one entity that hasn't been discussed much is the bigger gaming spaces where people might find bowling and miniature golf and arcades. What's the forecast like for those businesses?
The retail experts I talked to say it's going to be tough for them, especially coming out of this initially. A big part of those operations is going to be how to figure out how to clean that space. If you have a group of 6 people come in and they bowl, do you clean every ball? Do you clean the seats? Do you clean the lanes? And that increased cost that those operators are going to have is going to be very large if they're cleaning that often for spaces that large. So this could be a tough, a tough transition for them as we have things opening back up, but we're not quite to what we were before the coronavirus.
And is there still concern that online shopping could reign supreme even once those stores open back up?
Yes, so what's definitely happening with this is you're seeing an increased speed of adoption. People who may not have wanted to shop online in the past were kind of forced to, so they really had to figure out how to be savvy online shoppers. And once you start doing something, you're more likely, if it's an easy and good experience, you're more likely to do it again. So this could be a problem that retailers face going forward, is that more people have been exposed to online shopping. They're going to continue to do it because it was easy. Amazon makes it pretty easy to click and have something on your doorstep pretty soon. So that will be a battle that retailers will continue to fight.
And of course, we'll be keeping an eye on that battle and on your story as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Tom. We'll keep an eye on that centerpiece.
Great. Thank you so much.
Well, an effort to raise money for minority-owned businesses is almost halfway to its goal of $100,000. As we reported, the African American Chamber and Mortar have teamed up to help minority-owned businesses. Experts say 90% have been shut out of the Paycheck Protection Program. Keisha Asabui is one of those owners. After 10 years of selling T-shirts online, she was getting ready to open her first storefront in East Walnut Hills, and then the pandemic hit.
Construction kind of went on hold, and then we kind of had to stop, press the pause button. However, at the same time, we still have rent dues, utilities, and all that stuff.
And that's the story for so many entrepreneurs. Well, that's where the Emergency Assistance Fund comes in. The ultimate goal is to be able to give businesses up to $5,000 in grants.
It's going to be a quick infusion of cash into their businesses. 2, I think in many instances, this will save a number of businesses.
There is information on how to apply if you're a business owner and how to donate at CincinnatiBusinessCourier.com. You've likely noticed the lack of meat at your grocery store, and even at Wendy's. The chain pulled hamburgers from hundreds of locations, and grocery stores are limiting the amount of fresh meat you can buy. The problem isn't at farms, it's with processing. A rash of coronavirus cases shut down plants across the country, overwhelming the ones that are still open, and that led to a surge in new customers at many local farms who are now adjusting on the fly to keep products stocked.
We had to go all the way to Zanesville, Ohio to find a packer that could accommodate us. So we're trying really hard on behalf of our customers to flex and adapt to make sure we can serve them.
And farms like the Campbell Creek are planning ahead and scheduling all their dates through next year in case the backups continue. Cincinnati Children's is joining the race to find a vaccine for the coronavirus. It's one of 4 sites in the U.S. for human trials on what is known as BNT162. The first group will get the trial vaccine in the next couple of weeks. That group will be healthy adults between the ages of 18 and 55. If those tests are successful, the vaccine could be ready for emergency use as early as September. The makeshift hospital built inside the Duke Energy Convention Center is being dismantled. 100 patient care rooms were put up to be used in case local hospitals were overwhelmed with coronavirus patients. Well, that hasn't happened, and everything can be reactivated within a week if we do see a spike in cases. The Taste of Cincinnati is delayed again. The annual food festival was already pushed back from Memorial Day weekend to 4th of July weekend, and organizers say now they cannot meet the state's social distancing guidelines, which includes people staying 6 feet apart. But they will continue working with health experts to come up with a new date for the event, which they hope to announce as soon as possible. The site of one of the deadliest fires in American history may soon be redeveloped. Southgate City Council voted in favor of building apartments, homes, and an assisted living facility on the Beverly Hills Supper Club property. There would also be a new memorial at the base of the hill. The plan still needs to be approved by the Campbell County Zoning Commission. And the redesign of Newport on the Levee is taking shape. The spot where Mitchell Seafood used to be will become an open-air park. It'll have a plaza, outdoor seating, space for live entertainment, and a food truck. And you'll be able to walk around with a drink. Among the new businesses, a tiki bar, an Asian street food restaurant, a bakery, and a boutique. Still to come on First Financial Biz Beat, we'll take you inside one of Greater Cincinnati's newest apartment complexes and its unbeatable views. And congratulations to Katie Glazer, the Senior Vice President of International Operations at Passport USA, is another one of our 40 Under 40 honorees. There's still money left in the Paycheck Protection Program. More than 2 million small business loans worth more than $200 billion have been made in the second round of the program. The average amount, $79,000. First Financial Bank CEO Archie Brown talked about that and what the future looks like with Courier publisher Jamie Smith.
Thank you, Kyla. Archie, thanks for being here today.
It's good to be here, Jamie.
You know, it's been a couple weeks since the second round of the PPP started.
Yep.
How's it going with the bank, and how's the change been with your customers?
Sure. PPP round 2 has actually gone very well. First few days had some kinks with SBA's E-Trans system, but once those got worked out, applications getting through their system and flowing, and the whole process has been much better. Round 2 also, we've seen less applications. The first few days it was a little bit of a frenzy, then it tailed off. And now we're getting, very manageable volumes at this point in the process. I think I saw yesterday there was about 180 billion of the 310 billion that's been allocated in round 2. So there's still plenty of money to go, and we'll be able to take care of all the customers of ours that have applied.
Good. Now, have you seen any that have started to do paybacks or have rethought their situation?
We've seen a few. I'd say very small amount. As SBA offered up additional guidance, some of the businesses that received it early, looked at the additional guidance and said, maybe we should just return the money. And so we've had just a handful.
Okay, good. Now, First Financial's introduced a lot of other relief efforts as well. Can you talk a little bit about what that looks like?
Sure. I think, when I look at this crisis compared to, say, the 08-09 crisis, the big difference here is banks are so much healthier that we can focus on clients and our communities and what can we do to really be there for them. And so early on, we spent time talking about what can we do. A lot of our work's been in the area of payment deferral. So for mortgage customers, consumer loan customers, as well as business customers. So for most of them, they're getting a 90-day payment deferral. Many of them may need an additional 90-day period that we would be willing to do as well. Some interest only, but most would be full payment deferrals. We've also waived many of our fees on certain deposit products to help customers through. Additionally, we, of course, made a $1 million donation in the community. About 400,000 of that went into the greater Cincinnati area. Okay. We've suspended all repossessions and foreclosures for a minimum of 60 days, and then we'll evaluate that at the end of that period as well. So a lot of different things that we've been doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, the governors of all 3 states are obviously starting to talk about relaxing the stay-at-home, reopening businesses. How's that going to impact your business, especially your banking locations, your banking centers?
Yeah, you think about where we're located. We're located in 3 states, Indiana, of course, Ohio, Kentucky. And they all have a little bit different variations. And even then, some of the counties, municipalities have some of their own rules. So we're going to first follow, of course, what the state and local municipalities' orders are.
Okay.
And we won't do anything before they're telling us it's okay to do so. Secondly, we are also going to make sure that, as a prerequisite, we've got all the materials, equipment we need to make sure that our associates are safe and our clients are safe. So those are kind of prerequisites. And then from there, it really is going to be sort of an uneven opening for lobbies in particular. I can see certain ones going first. Probably in the next 2 weeks, we'll have finalized all of our plans, and then we'll be communicating internally. Most of our opening, Jamie, is going to occur starting in June.
Okay.
But for office personnel, that's probably going to be very gradual over the summer. And then branch lobbies will open probably starting in June, but it'll be a little uneven based on the state orders. and then a little bit of trial and error. What's working? How do we make sure we're maintaining the appropriate number of people in a lobby? All those types of considerations that we've got to work through.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of CEOs that have kind of talked about that, and they're trying to figure out, do they have people come in on different days?
Yep.
Because again, with the space that you have and you want to keep that social distance, it could be some challenge.
Yeah, and you think we have some employees who are saying, hey, I want to get back. And we have others say, I really like what I'm doing from home and I'm fully productive and I don't want to come back yet. So we're going to work with that.
Yeah.
We'll probably take some of those that want to come in early, get them in, but make sure that's a small enough number that we can make sure that we're keeping everybody safe and safe distancing, all those types of things.
Well, that kind of leads into the next question I had is obviously this, coronavirus, the whole pandemic has changed the way business is getting done.
Yeah.
As you said, you have a lot of people at home, getting a lot of work done effectively and efficiently.
Yep.
What do you think the new normal looks like for First Financial Bank?
I think it's going to unfold over some time. I think we've been training customers now for 6 weeks on how to do banking different. We can provide to our customers every service they want without them having to come into the bank, probably with the exception of going into a safe deposit box.
Yeah.
So now that we've been doing this with customers for a while, they're getting trained on how to use all of our digital tools, our online tools, our call centers, and I would envision that we will continue to accelerate providing those sorts of tools to customers. We will also, again, a lot of associates working from home, so we'll start to look at what are our real estate needs longer term. How many branches do we really need in an area over the long term? So this will unfold over time. It's not all going to be immediate change, but it really has made us stop and think, how can we do our business different?
Yeah.
And now with this sort of forced change on us, we've realized there's a lot of things we can do differently and better.
If you think about it, I'd say the banking industry has kind of been preparing for that for a long time, right?
That's correct.
With, first off drive-throughs and then the ATMs and then the mobile apps and everything. You guys were trying to figure that process out anyway
Right.
if people needed to come in.
Yeah, we've also added the what we call interactive teller machines, which is really, it's like an ATM, but also the live teller comes on the screen.
Right.
We've introduced that technology. We're actually rolling more of those out during this system. So yeah, we have been preparing, and I think this just accelerates everything that we were doing.
All right. Well, let's switch gears and talk about something non-pandemic for a moment. They announced this week that the First Financial Club at FC Cincinnati's West End Stadium. Talk a little bit about that and the excitement about that.
We are extremely excited. Of course, this is a great partnership. We love working with FC Cincinnati and all that they stand for, what they're doing in the community. Can't wait for them to get back in action. But yeah, this is the First Financial Club. It's I think it seats 2,100 in lower level reserve seating. As part of this, there'll be a big hall, like a beer hall.
Okay.
And in that beer hall will be a big open area with, I think, 3 bars, artisan pizza, I think 30 different craft brews for people just to get there, enjoy one another's company, at a safe distance, of course, and cheer on FC.
Yeah.
So we're really looking forward to for that to come together next year.
Oh, that's awesome. It's interesting for me. I live up on the hill and overlook the stadium, and I'm watching it piece by piece be built up. So I, for one, am excited for that to get back and for the games to start and for us to, as you say, safely get back to some social distancing with that. But,
well, we need it for our city, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Such a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. And again, thanks for everything that the bank is doing. These times are, we never thought this was going to happen, as we've talked about it. It's a new normal.
Yeah.
So thanks for all you're doing.
Thanks, Jamie.
All right, have a great day. Back to you, Kyla.
Thank you, Jamie and Archie. Well, still to come on First Financial BizBeat, how a weekly cooking lesson from a local chef has led to laptops for students in need, and the local businesses where you can get an adult happy hour to satisfy all your cravings. The coronavirus pandemic has changed the way realtors do business. Agents have shifted to doing their jobs electronically, using Skype or FaceTime for viewings and closings. Christine Beresford is the owner and CEO of RE/MAX Preferred Group. Though business is down a bit, she's an optimist, and she thinks there will be a surge of buyers and sellers once the pandemic is over.
There's a lot of pent-up demand, I would say, right about now. So I'm looking forward to a boom, and that's going to help the economy.
Madison Place in Covington is welcoming its first tenants. The coronavirus made getting potential renters a bit more difficult. So Corporex pivoted to virtual tours and added incentives like 6 or 18-month leases, and also got rid of rent for the first month. Having riverfront views 14 stories up didn't hurt things either.
No apartment community has the views that we have. We go all the way up to the 14th floor, and you can see, all the way west, east, down the Ohio River. You've got perfect views of downtown, but then even on the south side, we've got units that have beautiful views directly of the Ascent, and then looking over the whole of northern Kentucky, all the way up into the Cut and the Hills.
And a popular chef is using her online cooking classes to help students. KAYLA Robinson, the executive chef at Arnold's, started the classes when restaurants got shut down. Arnold's packages all the ingredients for you so you can cook the meal live with her on Sunday nights. But classes aren't just helping people with dinner. Robinson learned some students at her daughter's school didn't have laptops or tablets, so she began asking for donations.
I have a platform that I can help others, and I think that's what people who have a platform should do. I'm able to be online with these cooking classes that has 10,000 viewers, and I'm going to use that and try to do some good with it.
Well, she's done a lot of good. Robinson has raised more than $11,000, enough to buy 150 devices. Dunlap Cafe's Adult Happy Meal is so popular right now, they've added breakfast. And yes, that includes alcohol too. The Happy Meals all come with Twizzlers and fries and your choice of a cheeseburger, fried chicken sandwich, or chicken tenders. And then you get an alcoholic beverage as your drink. Same idea with breakfast, but it's breakfast sandwiches and Bloody Marys and mimosas. And if you're looking for the slightest sign of normalcy, here it is. Westwood staple Putz's is opening on Monday. So you'll be able to get that banana milkshake or the blue soft serve just like at Kings Island, but there will be social distancing rules in place, and that means picnic tables will be off limits. And we want to end this show with this show in the sky, put on by pilots with the Ohio National Guard. It was a salute to the workers on the front lines of the pandemic. We also want to say thank you to all hospital workers who've given everything they have, day in and day out, to save lives. Thank you for joining us for First Financial BizBeat. I'm KAYLA Woods. Have a great weekend.